Hello, welcome to In the Court of the Wenton King. We're doing a new one. It's Stephen Wilson. It's 4.5. That's a strange title.
Yeah.
It's not an album, is the point he's been making. It's not the next album. It kind of is an album, a short album. I mean, it's even being called an EP. I think the promotional stuff's calling it a mini album because it's 37 minutes long. But actually, 37 minutes is how long an album should be, really. You know, otherwise you get to the 90s and they're an hour long and there's tons of filler in the middle and it sags, and just to get through all of it is, you know. So I've no problem with this at all. The idea is he's got some stuff he wanted to record, he's recorded it, it's a stopgap. It's not the next album. The next album will be coming, you know. It's various bits and pieces that he recorded before, or he wrote before, or unfinished before, just finished it all off and stuck it on an EP thing, and that's fine, and that's great. Obviously it's never going to be as good as the last two albums, but that's not the point, is it? You know, there's some good stuff on there, and I like it, and that's good. And I'd rather go for that than, I don't know, you know, Pink Floyd or whatever, releasing an album and then nothing for 15 years, and they've got everyone knows they've got all this archive stuff that they won't release and all that business. I'd rather hear it, and I want to hear the process as much as possible. I don't need just the finished product to hide the what's going on. You know, I want to hear more. More is good. So this is great, and they're good tracks.
Yeah. I think he's cashing in a bit of goodwill here, Kev, because, as you say, it's not. I can't remember how much it was. It was like $9.99 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Stephen Wilson gets a lot of credit because it's kind of, you definitely get the impression, and he definitely gives you the impression that the money he makes from an album goes into the next album.
Yeah, and all the promotion and all the cool stuff. Yeah.
In a sense, it doesn't feel, it's almost like an investment into the next album.
Yeah.
But when his thing is actually doing proper albums again, you know, as an album as a piece of artwork or an artistic unit, and this isn't that, it runs the risk of appearing a bit like a cashing in sort of thing.
Yeah, which it might well be.
Yeah.
We don't obviously he hasn't said, yeah, I need the money. But you know, he occupies quite a unique space. There aren't many bands there that aren't sort of old bands that are still going, kind of thing. In that, you know, he's obviously has artistic freedom, but he charts. You know, this has got to number 21 in the UK chart. Hand Can't Erase got to number 13, actually, which was the number 1 in the rock chart. To occupy that space requires a lot of promotion, a lot of stuff like that. So whatever keeps it going, great. I'm good with that. What's so important though is that he's made it clear that he hasn't just called the album Dancing Land or something. He hasn't, you know, he's just given it some random name. It's called 4.5, and so immediately we know what that is. You know, and it's mini album, EP, whatever. Although it's 37 minutes, it's just some stuff. And I'm good with that, you know. But you've got to. That's the position you've got to take before you listen to it. You can't think it's the next Stephen Wilson one. Put it on, because you're going to be really disappointed.
But typically, this is the kind of thing a band does when they've got to fulfil sort of like a contract or something like that.
Yeah, traditionally a live album, isn't it?
Yeah. So it sort of reminds me a little bit of Amnesiac, Radiohead, which was essentially a load of stuff for Kid A that didn't make it onto Kid A. And when you sort of realise that, it's a little bit, oh god. Yeah, these songs were made specifically for this album, but I mean it's a good album. Yeah, there's some good tracks on there. You definitely notice there's a little bit of something missing, because obviously Hand Can't Erase and The Raven, they've got that concept in there which people don't like. When you take that away, it does feel a little bit.
Yeah,
it feels a little bit light. Yeah, it feels a little bit light at times.
I mean, I've found that with the first two albums, actually. They're good albums, honestly, but for whatever reason, his music works so well hung on to the concept. It kind of takes more effort without it. But like I said, you know, more is good, and whatever keeps it going. You know, what financially, whatever's required to keep that going, that's good. Do that,
yeah,
and we'll get the next one, and we'll get the next one, and keep going.
But I mean, he's got to maintain standards to be able to pull something like this off. I mean,
yeah,
there are no issues in buying this, and it's a decent listen. But I mean, if he was to if the next album was a little bit half-cocked,
now the next album has to be
the
next thing. It can't just be Hank on It Rise 2 or even Raven 2. It's got to be something else, something different and new, and some amazing concept.
Hopefully it's not a sort of, oh no, I've got no ideas for the next album, let's get this out there just to keep them happy while I sort myself out.
Well, it could be. I think which is the right thing to do, rather than just make an album anyway because you've got to financially. Not ready to do it yet.
Because Hank Cannot Erase came very quickly after. I mean, he stopped touring and then he was straight on it, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, interestingly, track 1 and 5 aren't actually from the album sessions. They were written in between. And track 5 is actually a Porcupine Tree album.
Is it? A whole album?
It's a whole album, yeah, no, it's a song. I didn't know, of course. I listened to this before I knew that. So that was interesting, going back and listening to Porcupine Tree, which I don't really know a lot about, really. I've obviously heard them, but not a huge amount. I've heard Radioactive Toy, because he played it live at the concert, and I've heard that, Don't Hate Me, and I've got an album. I can't remember what it's called. It was quite a later one. It didn't hook me in at the time. This is before his solo stuff. I remember being quite disappointed because I was quite excited about hearing Porcupine Tree because of the whole sort of concept of it. It was a made-up band originally with a back catalogue and then became a real band. But yeah, doing a Porcupine Tree song again is actually a great idea because it shows how his solo stuff has opened it up a bit. The female vocals, the controversial, I assume it's controversial female vocal, having those there, but it shows how his solo stuff is much more dynamically varied. Dynamically varied, that doesn't mean anything. Much more...
Dynamic.
Yeah, there's a wider range of sound, of textures than Porcupine Tree, And you can see why he wanted to stay with... Once this was successful, with the Raven, I think it was after the Raven, when he realised he didn't need to go back to Porcupine Tree and do that same thing again. But it's not that different, obviously, but it does show how essentially he's doing the same thing, but he's got a bit broader. And the old thing about, apparently, there is a member of Porcupine Tree, don't know who that is, who doesn't like jazz, has this aversion to it. So obviously there's a more fusioniness in that song, which isn't there on the original. There is flute on the original though, and on this it's jazz organ, blah, 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 stuff. But it's so great to have the saxophone back on a couple of tracks. It's only on a couple of tracks, but it's so great to have it back because that was... I remember my heart sank when I heard that he was moving away from that. Hank on It Rise. The first track, they're bits. It's very bitty by its nature. It's one of those albums, isn't it? But it's not like an outtakes album, like the Coda or something like that. It's not like that really. It's just some songs, and it's really the fact that they don't hang into anything, and there's no real standout moment.
Yeah. Because My Book of Regrets, I mean, you listen to the title, you think that's a Stephen Wilson song all over.
Yeah.
And it, you can imagine it on Hank Cannot Erase, and then it feels kind of upbeat.
Yeah.
It's a little bit confusing. It doesn't sit right without that sort of background there.
Yeah.
To know what's going on. It doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, and that was written in between the two albums. So I wonder if that was him finding his way to Hank Cannot Erase, and you can hear that there. But it's not what you think it's going to be, and yeah, that's cool. I think my favourite thing on there, some people might be surprised, is Year of the Plague, is the second song. It's that, that's very much from Raven, that melancholy from that, it's just lots of arpeggios and some on the top, but done so well, and it's completely instrumental, it doesn't go anywhere, it's just that bit. Yeah. So he could have expanded that into a big thing, obviously, but that would have been too much like Watchmaker, so obviously he couldn't have gone on Raven. Mm-hmm. So that's a good reason for having this kind of thing. It's interesting how stuff like that reminds me of this band I really like called Mostly Autumn. It's not really, the thing he does isn't really that, and yet you listen to a bit of it and you think, oh yeah, it really does sound like that. So that's very strange. But with Stephen Wilson, it's not autumn, it's winter, spring. It's this time of year, or a bit earlier, really. Whether you listen to that kind of thing at that time, or whether you listen to that kind of thing in the summer or whatever, I don't know, but that's what it is. But then you've got track 3, which is like a very much a Uncanny Rays pop song. But the thing is, he's really good at those. If he wanted to do that, he could do that. He could do albums of that and attract a different fan base, a more sort of casual fan base.
There's no money in it these days, Kev.
Yeah, perhaps there wouldn't be. But he's clearly very good at that. What else have we got on there? Yeah, you've got Sunday Rain Sets In and Vermillioncore. And in a way, Sunday Rain Sets In is an intro to Vermillioncore.
They're really quite proggy, aren't they? They're sort of...
Yeah, those 2 tracks are the proggiest. And you think that first song, you think, oh, that's it now, it's just a melancholy thing. And only, about a minute to go, this new riff comes in, which is great. I think Vermillioncore is probably the one people are going to be talking about.
I mean, that's the one that stood out for me.
Yeah, it's funky though. It's like Luminol. It's that kind of thing. Kind of doesn't go anywhere. But I mean, that's not the point, is it? That he's got this idea, thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is an album of songs that don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why they're on this album.
Yeah, I mean, look, for them to go anywhere, they'd have to have a concept. They'd have to have some reason, I suppose, is what it is. So, But this is good stuff, and I enjoy listening to it, and I'll certainly at some point listen to it again. It's not like it's going to go on the shelf forever. At some point, maybe when the next album comes out, I'll listen to that to death. I'll go back to this and think, oh, I can't remember that. Maybe that kind of listen. So yeah, I think price is a big determining factor. I can't remember how much I paid for it and how much that compares to what the other albums were, because I can't remember how much I paid for them.
Well, his latest albums tend to be quite expensive. I think they're like $13.99 bracket, $12.99 sort of thing.
Right, yeah. So really, this should be sort of $7.99. Really,
Yeah.
It's probably $9.99, but I can't actually remember. But again, if it's supporting him financially,
well, just imagine what that extra £2 actually does.
Yeah.
And how much actually and lets him get on with.
Yeah, and if he's charting, it does mean his albums sell. It's not just like a lot of bands where they tour and make money and they do an album for the tour, because of the way things are switched around. He must be making money out of the albums, or at least making enough to fund the next album.
And the thing is, he's selling music to people who actually like music. So, I mean, he's not on Spotify or anything like that. So,
You've got to buy the album.
You've got to buy the album. So, if you're buying the album, then you're really going to...
Although some arseholes probably put it on YouTube. Probably the whole album.
Yeah.
Which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an argument. I understand the argument for sampling things and you find new bands on YouTube, and I've done that. But not whole albums. There's no justification for that at all. That's just out of order, isn't it?
It is really. Especially when someone puts advertising on there.
Yeah. Just uploaded someone's album. And YouTube don't care. And they'll block something else randomly, but perfectly fine with, a new album going up on there. I mean, the Iron Maiden on Vivo, 2010, 2012, something like that. The whole thing, the whole Blu-ray, the whole concert was uploaded within a couple of weeks, and it's still there. So, I don't know. Maybe the band supported or something like that. So yeah, it'd be funny if it was 4.5 eggs.
Well, I was just thinking, how many eggs should we give it?
But yeah, it's 4 eggs. It's not 4.5 eggs, it's 4 eggs. Because there's good stuff on there, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not a game changer, is it? But
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of it comes down to expectation.
Yeah.
Because it's Stephen Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pleasant surprise when it came out. It was like, ooh,
Yeah, there's a new one.
more still Stephen Wilson.
Yeah.
Which was probably the best way to go, because if you built up expectation around it, it would have probably been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
And he's also probably getting something else to flog on his tour while he's going around.
Yeah.
He did similar thing with the video for that one on Raven.
Oh yeah.
Drive.
The Drive Home
Yeah,
EP.
Drive Home.
That was an EP. I like the idea of that. I mean, an EP is a Blu-ray, so you can have all sorts of stuff on there.
Yeah, so more good stuff from Stephen Wilson.
And we'll see you next week. We will do Rush next week. It is Rush. Promise. See you then.